Okay, good morning, everybody. I've got the questions on screen for you here to have a look at. Okay, as usual, you can pause the video here if you'd like to work through them, or you can work through them with me. Okay, so I'll give you a second now just to have a look at them, then I'll shrink them down into the corner and we'll get going. Okay. So, first one there, 100, just check I've got a pen, yep, 134 times 1, sorry, I'm still going, yeah, sorry, 134 times 1, okay, that means you've got one group of 134, good start. Draw it out if you want to, bar model. You've got 134, and that's it, so it's obviously 134. Okay. You multiply anything by 1, it doesn't change. If you multiply anything by 0, then the answer is 0. Okay. I was doing a quiz the other day, and that was a trick question on it. I think you had to multiply all the days of the week together by 0 or something, and obviously the answer was 0. Didn't have to do anything. Okay, question 2. 15 add 15, do it down here, equals 100, subtract big blue box. Okay, talked about it the other day. The equal sign acts as a scale. Okay, or yeah, scale the right word? A set of scales. So that both sides have to balance. So 15 add 15 you have to work out first of all, which is 30. No issues there. So 100 subtract something has to be 30. If you know your number belongs to 10, then you know your number belongs to 100, and it's lovely and straightforward, 70. Okay, so again, one there that shouldn't have caused too much trouble. Okay, next one. Did I change back to a pen? No. 199 and 178. Now, a couple of options there. You can do column addition if you want to. It'd get you the answer, but it would be a little bit slower. 199, I've spotted, is very close to 200. So I'm just going to pretend it is 200 for the sake of the question. So 200 add 178 would be, I'll just put it up here, 378. And then I added 1, sorry, I added 1 to turn 199 into 200, so I'm just going to subtract the 1 off my answer. So the answer is going to be 377. Okay, so all I've done there is modify the question and then got the answer from that modification and then changed it back to the original question. Okay, which makes my life a little bit easier looking for those shortcuts. Okay. All right, y add 5 is worth 341. So what is y? Well, it's something, add 5 is 341. So we're just going to use the inverse. We're going to do 341 subtract 5 will equal y, quite obviously. Okay, so I'm going to take the 1 off. 340, sorry. Subtract 4 because I'm crossing the boundary there and I just, in my head, that's how I would do it. I wouldn't write it down in an assessment or in a test, but in my head that's what I'd be doing. I'd be taking the 1 off and then I take the 4 away. So it's 336. Just check I've got that. Yeah, so 336. Okay. All it's asking you to do there is 341 subtract 5. That's the whole question. 3/4 of 1,200. Okay. 1,200. Right. Draw a bar model for this one. Split it there, there, and there. So that's a quarter, that's a quarter, that's a quarter, and that's a quarter, and the whole thing adds to, lovely and neat, 1,200. And I own 3 of them, so I own that one, that one, and that one. Off the top of my head, I don't know what 3/4 1,200 is. However, I could just ignore those 2 zeros for now. And then it's asking me 3/4 of 12. So if you do 12 divided by 4, divided by the bottom, times by 3, times by the top, you get 9. We've got 9, yeah, 9. Yeah, sorry. Brain went then. So 9. Okay, because 12 divided by 4 is 3, and 3 times 3 is 9. Okay, so if I know what 3/4 of 12 is, then I also know what 3/4 of 1,200 is. Okay, if you look, I'll write 12 here as well. Sorry, change it to the rubber. This is 100 times bigger than this, okay, because you've got your original 12 there, you've got times 10 times 100, so it's 100 times bigger, okay. Let me just get rid of all this working out now. Okay, so 3/4 of 12 equals 9, so 3/4 of 1,200 equals 900. So that is 100 times bigger than that, which means my answer here needs to be 100 times bigger than my answer there. Okay, I do hope I explained that one all right. I think I got a little bit lost in the explanation there, so I do apologise if that one confused you a little bit. I've got a rounding question again. So you've got 2,345,610. The reason that I can read that straight off is through use of the commas in the question, in the number. Okay, so 2,345,610 to the nearest 10,000. That's my 10,000 column there. Okay, same rule as always, but I will talk you through it. So 10,000 column there, so you look to the one to the right. It's a 5, so it's going to round up, which means that 4 changes into a 5, which means the answer is 2,350,000. Okay, it's no use just getting that 5 and putting it there. I'm just going, well, that's the answer. You need the 2,350,000. You need everything I've written there for it to be correct. Okay, apart from the underlining, I suppose. 250 times 8. Okay. I'll show you the bar model way, and then I'll show you the mathematical way. Okay. So bar model. So we've got 2/5. It's going to be quite big, actually. So again, not the neatest, but if it does the job for you, I'm not too bothered. See, actually, if I can just use the, I'll never use the ruler on here. And that's why. Rubbish that was. That's not working at all, is it? Right, sorry. Okay. So 2/5 times 8. So I need 8 bars. I'm going to struggle to do one. Sorry, I need to count as well. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Yeah, perfect. Yeah. Okay, and then you're going to split them all into fifths. Okay, so you've got put 1 there, 2, 3, 4. Okay, I do know it's really, really messy. I will tell you the mathematical method after this as well, because the mathematical method is much easier, but I want you to understand where it's coming from. So on each of these, I own 2/5. So this is 5/5. This, you can't see that, sorry. This bar at the top, and I own 2 of them. So I own that one, and I own that one. On the one below, I own that one, and I own that one. And you can probably see where I'm going with this. Okay. So I've taken my original 2/5 and I've multiplied it by 8. So I've got that original 2/5, then I've got another one, another one, another one, and so on and so on. And I've got 8 groups of it. 8 groups of 2/5. So then all I need to do is count up how many fifths I've got in total. I've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Okay, so I've got 16 fifths now. Okay, let me just rub all this tat out at the bottom, and then we'll talk about where it's come from. Some of you might be able to spot already. I'll stop in a sec. You've got 16 fifths now. So to multiply a fraction by a whole number, all you have to do is multiply the numerator, which is a lot easier than drawing out all that garbage, isn't it? So you take your 2/5 times 8, and all you're going to do is multiply this numerator, the 2, by 8, which is where you get the 16 from. 2 times 8 is 16. So you get 16 over 5, okay? Because the amount in a whole hasn't changed, okay? If I gave you, this is the easiest way to think about it. If I gave you 2/5 of a chocolate cake, and then I gave you another 2/5, and I gave you another 2/5, and another 2/5, and I kept doing it till you were enormous and stuffed with chocolate cake, so I did it 8 times, the amount of chocolate cake that would make a whole hasn't changed. I've just given you lots of it. I've given you more than a whole in total. I've given you 16 bits of chocolate cake, but it still only takes 5 bits of chocolate cake to make a whole cake. Okay, so let me just clear all this ink away. So at the moment, I'm sat with the answer of 16 fifths. Okay, but we can't leave it as that because that's an improper fraction. All right, the numerator is bigger than the denominator, which means that you've got a whole number locked away within your numerator. Okay, easy way to do it is to count in 5s until you get as close to 16 as you can. That will give you your whole number, and it will give you your remainder that's left as a fraction. Okay, so you've got 5, 10, 15. So I can get to 15, and I've got 16 fifths. So 15, which is 1, 2, 3. Okay, so I've got 3. So if I have 15 pieces of cake, then I've eaten 3 whole cakes, and then I've got 1 piece of cake left over because I had 16 bits. So it's 3 and 1 fifth. Again, I've rattled on a little bit with that one, but we have done that one lots and lots and lots this year. So hopefully, me talking about cake and numerators and things, that hasn't gone over your head because you do know that. 10 times 19. Okay, lovely and straightforward one. You get your place value columns, tens, hundreds, units. 19 currently is sat there. When you multiply by 10, everything moves one place value column to the left. Okay, so you end up with 190, 190. Okay, no problems. 4 cubed. Looked at this one yesterday. Well, similarly, you looked at cubed. It means 4 times 4 times 4. It does not mean 4 times 3. 4 times 3 is 12. 4 times 4 is 16. And 16 times 4, well, 10 times 4 is 40. 6 times 4 is 24. So it's 64. Okay? Notice the difference. 4 times 3 is 12. 4 cubed is 64. So you are a million miles away from the answer. If you put 4 times 3, if you put 12 as the answer, you're nowhere near. Okay, you're not even close. So please make sure that you understand what that, if you have that, you need to remember what these mean. Okay, we've got squared and cubed. And last one for now, 30 times 2 equals 100, subtract another box. Okay, same as question 2. Equal sign is a set of scales, so we're going to work this side out. 30 times 2 is 60. Okay, so 100 times, 100 subtract something must equal 60. Well, it's going to be 40. No working out needed there because it's relying on number bond knowledge. Okay, lovely. So, as usual, I will disappear for a minute. I'll put a question on the screen now, a challenge question based on what you've been doing today. You might find that they're not always entirely based around what you've done. So, for example, yesterday you'd done, oh no, maybe the day before, you'd done rounding at decimals, and I might choose rounding up to millions and so on, but the skill is the same, okay? So even if it doesn't feel like the work you've been doing, it's relying on the same skills. I'll make sure of that, okay? So as usual, I'll put the, somebody just comment asking to be my friend. I will put the challenge question on the screen, leave it for a little bit, and then I will come back and I will talk you through a potential method to answer it, and I'll give you the answer as well. Okay, so you can see whether you were right. Okay. Okay, so you've had a chance to look at the question now. I'm just having a look at it myself. I will be honest, I've got the answer, but I haven't got the working out. As I said yesterday, I like to work them out with you. So if I make any mistakes or I go down the wrong path, then you can see. Okay, so the only advantage I've got is the answer. So I'll read it through first of all. 3 children each have a pack of raisins. Brett eats 0.7 of his raisins. Cara eats 28 out of 100 of her raisins. And Selena eats 0.04 of her raisins. The child with the most raisins left over gives half of their remaining raisins to Riaz. What fraction of a pack does Riaz get? And then this bit at the bottom is just about how to put your answer into the software. Okay, absolutely loads and loads and loads of steps to this question. Okay, there's easily 5 or 6. So we'll get cracking. First thing to notice is you've done a little bit of it today. If I've got my days right, the first thing you'll notice is they're a mix of fractions and decimals, which doesn't work. Okay, so we're going to have a look at what the answer wants. It wants fraction. What fraction of a pack? So I'm going to convert everything to fractions. There's no use keeping them all as decimals. So Brett at the moment is a decimal, and Selena is a decimal. Sounds quite rude, doesn't it? You're a real decimal, you are. So Brett has 0.7, which is 7 out of 10. Okay, because 10 would be 1 whole. If you had 10 tenths, you've got a whole. He's got 7 tenths. When he gets 10 tenths, he gets to 1 whole. 1 whole would be 100% or 100 over 100. Okay, so those are your conversion rates. So he's got 7 over 10, which means he's got 70 over 100. So we can put Brett down here as having 70 over 100. Cara's already done. She's got 28 over 100. Oops. And Selena. Sorry, got distracted there. Selena. Well, she needs 96 or 9 tenths. Can't see that, can you? 9 tenths and 6 hundredths to get to 1. So she's got 4 over 100 at the moment. Okay. So she's miles away. Okay, so now they are all over 100. They're all equivalent to one another, so they're much easier to work with. So we're going to go back to the question. Because they've got just stop it there. Because they've got the same denominator as well, I can compare them. Okay, that's the most important thing to consider. So the child with the most raisins left over gives half of their remaining raisins to Riaz. What fraction of a pack does Riaz get? Okay, so the child with the most raisins left over. This is what tricked me just a second ago, because I've got the answer here and I was thinking, well, I don't know how I've got to that, but it's in the word in here. It's not the child that has the most raisins, which I thought it was. It's the child with the most raisins left over. Okay, well, you can see that. Brett's got 30 raisins left over. Cara's got 72 raisins left over. All I'm doing here is number bonds up to 100. So 70 add 30 is 100. Have I done that all right? Yeah. 72 add 28 is 100. And Selena, I've already told you, has 96 left over. Okay? So Selena, then, the child with the most raisins left over gives half of their remaining raisins to Riaz. Okay, so Selena's got 96 raisins left over, and she gives half of it to Riaz, so we need to halve 96. So I'm going to partition it for that, just in case you struggle with that bit. Half 6 is 3, half of 90 is 45. Okay, and then you add them together. 45 add 3 is 48. Yeah, 48. Okay. What fraction of a pack does Riaz get? Well, he gets 48. There's 100 in a pack, so 100 makes a whole pack. So the answer is 48 over 100. Okay. Well done if you got that one. Like I said, there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. That's 7, 8 steps for that one. So if you manage to work your way through all of those and get the correct answer, very well done. All right. I was just going to leave then. I'll see you tomorrow. I hope you have a lovely day.